I congratulate all stakeholders involved in the administration of justice upon successfully completing the law year 2023. I have the pleasure to warmly welcome you into the new year 2024. I also sincerely congratulate all those who have been designated new positions in the judiciary in the service of our country and mankind at large. We congratulate you and wish you the very best. Your Excellency, the presence of the three arms of the state at this function shows how far our democracy has developed. Previously, the opening of the new law year was a function of the judiciary and the law society. That was there, it was our affair, judiciary and law society. But has since become a national function that involves all the three arms of the state, ready to plan the administration of justice together. I congratulate my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, and specifically thank you for successfully and consistently bringing us together to deliberate on this important cause. The three arms of government owe it to the citizens of this country to work together to realize the aspirations of the country as expressed in our Constitution, the Vision 2040 and the National Development Plan 3. Working together must never mean or lead to an interference in each other's functions. That said, it is important that as we plan for the country together, we cooperate with one another to ensure that no branch of government is disadvantaged in its operations. Whatever we do must be done for the benefit of the country as a whole, and we must support each other to achieve these goals. As vital players in the administration of justice, we the lawyers take cognizance of our pivotal role in making justice accessible to the people of the country. Inaccessible justice services compel justice seekers to look for alternative modes of settling their dispute. Justice in its truest form can only be realized when the victims of wrongs are able to have their grievances pacified by the various justice actors in line with the due process and the rule of law. It is arguably true that when quality justice is easily accessible, there is better regard and respect for the rule of law and respect for human rights. We, the lawyers, are guardians of the rule of law. The rule of law encompasses adherence to the principles of supremacy of the law, equality before the law, accountability to the law, fairness in the application of the law, separation of powers, participation in decision-making, legal certainty, avoidance of arbitrariness, and procedural and legal transparency. These aim at protecting the individuals, especially in their relations with the state. By professionally defending our clients' rights and freedoms, the rule of law is echoed and inevitably strengthened. In the last couple of months, weeks, we have had very unfortunate incidents. As the head of the bar, I was appalled by the decision of a section of the Law Society to discuss or in fact discipline a judicial officer in the conduct of their judicial function. That must stop. If one is aggrieved by a decision of a judicial officer, your place is before the courts, whether you agree with it or not. What were we going to do? Summon the judicial officer before us? That is wrong. We must know how far we must go and at which fora to address our grievances. Again, we have had a lot of excitement about a communication between the President and the Chief Justice. Law Society sitting to discuss. Discuss what? This is a communication between one arm of the state with the other arm of the state. I told you when I was beginning this speech that we must work together to achieve the ends for the people of Uganda. If the Law Society has the legal mandate, as so we say, to communicate our grievances to the judiciary, why then doesn't the executive have the right to communicate its grievances to the executive? Let us know how far we must go. Lawyers are also intermediaries between the public and the courts. Lawyers' proximity to the courts and their understanding of the functioning of courts enables them to assist the maintenance of public confidence in courts. It's therefore incumbent upon advocates to dutifully beyond their clients to the courts, to do this dutifully beyond their clients to the courts and the country and our motherland. For the bar bench to work, there must be mutual respect from the two institutions. My office, together with the Law Society, share an important role in advancing and actualizing the notion that there must be no justification for the rule of law to be trampled upon. I urge all members of that take their role in this seriously, advocating for the cause of justice. I take particular note of the various issues that have been raised by the membership of the Uganda Law Society at the different fora regarding the impropriety in the administration of justice and the disrespect for the rule of law. Issues that directly concern the judiciary beyond delayed resolution of disputes and case backlog, decisions and awards that are not in tandem with common legal practices, including the principles of stare decisis, among others. We continue to advocate for relative uniformity in court decisions, awards and sentences, and timely disposal of cases and delivery of judgments. To defend the rule of law, we must comply with the rules that are set. We also have concerns outside the judiciary, which include occasional failure to respect court decisions, obnoxious noises through social media platforms, and an increasing breakdown in the observance of the sanctity of the courts and legal processes. There is no need for a person aggrieved by a court decision, more so a lawyer, to call a press conference, a press briefing lashing out at a judicial officer, when one has the right to appeal to him or her. There is no reason why they should disobey a court order issued against you or refuse to obey it. There are no, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, there are no entities outside the court system, as I continuously hear. Laws are written by Parliament, laws are interpreted by the courts, laws are executed by the executive. There is no way you can achieve the ends of justice if those three arms of government do not work together to achieve that. So we must always be mindful that the executive, for example, when a constitutional decision is made and they find that a particular decision is unconstitutional, we go to Parliament for the Parliament to amend it, to get it repealed. And as you will notice, we are going to be releasing our new reports. We have done that. The decisions of the Constitutional Court are implemented by the Parliament through legislation. Now, if we don't want the Parliament to work with the judiciary, how will that be done? We must always remember that we must work together to be able to achieve the ends of justice. I take this opportunity to applaud the judiciary for progressively taking seriously our positive criticism and working tirelessly to create change for better. This has been noted in the latest legal reforms, administrative adjustments, and infrastructure developments, among others. I will not repeat what my brother, the President of Uganda Law Society, has said. The judiciary has gone a long way to make justice accessible by decentralizing the courts and taking them to far-long places. We congratulate you and applaud you, judiciary. I especially applaud the top management of the judiciary and the government of Uganda for finally giving the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal a place to call home. We thank you, Your Excellency, for this enormous investment, and I congratulate you, the Honorable the Chief Justice, for this historic acquisition. Like Oliver Twist, we ask for more so that all the courts of judicature get out of any rented premises and they go to places they call home. Allow me also to applaud the Judicial Service Commission and the Judiciary for the progress made thus far in recruiting and deploying more judicial officers, operationalizing more courts across the country, and deploying professional officers in almost every constituency. There is imminent need to commensurate measures to oversee the discipline of this enormous force and to ensure quality of services and high output. Your Excellency, as the courts expand, my office and the office of the DPP becomes overstretched. So as we expand the judiciary, we must work tirelessly as the executive to expand the reach of both the Attorney General's chambers for civil cases and the DPP's office for the criminal cases. Reproach while executing their duties. Let us refrain from acts that bring the integrity of judicial officers into disrepute. I always say this, Your Excellency, because the judicial officers are not out there to defend themselves. So whatever statement you make about them, the only person who can possibly come out is the Attorney General, who is also a member of the Law Society and a member of the legal fraternity. I always encourage my colleagues, let us find the correct fora to raise the complaints. I'm not saying don't raise the complaints. Let us find the correct fora where to raise these. Professional ethics must be held at all times. This is not only towards the court of law and judicial officers, but the entire public that we serve. My brother, the President, has mentioned one case. Your Excellency, we have more, and we need to do something. Myself and the Minister of Justice are scratching our heads on how to deal with this problem of integrity in the judicial profession, but we'll be coming to the executive very soon with some of our proposals on how to deal with this problem as we address this cancer that is growing in our space, which we must deal with. As lawyers, we ought to be professional but execute ethics above reproach. The number of complaints filed before the disciplinary committee of the Law Council is unfortunately overwhelming. We must work together and deliberately to reduce this disastrous trend. We are addressing the issue of inspection of chambers and issuance of CLE certificates to facilitate the quick and fast renewal of practicing certificates. Colleagues, we sincerely apologize for the delay, but we are working tirelessly to ensure that this is sorted out at the earliest. As I conclude, Your Excellency and the Honorable the Chief Justice and Honorable members present here, no volume of legislation by Parliament or Rules Committee can ever effectively control the moral framework of society in its entirety. The social fiber that we each groom and control right from our families bears greatly on the ills we see in our society. Ultimately, it is the people and not the statutes that make things happen. Likewise, if the justice system is not transformed, we must feed it. To be transformed, we must feed it with progressive minds, character, and action. Your Excellency and the Honorable the Chief Justice, the judicial officers you see here start from the society, from the Uganda Law Society. So if we get the problems that we are getting in the Uganda Law Society today, that is all we can send up to the bench. So members of Uganda Law Society, let us work on this. I therefore call upon all of us in our diverse callings, as parents, teachers, civil society, opinion leaders, political leaders, religious leaders, and so on, to take the issue of morality very seriously and to address it at every opportunity. In closing, I'll end with a quote by Martin Luther King. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step towards the goal requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle. The tireless action, exertions, and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. In this country, clear. Let us all sitting here today and everyone else listening virtually be counted as concerned and dedicated individuals who will tirelessly exert ourselves in our spaces of influence to change the landscape of justice in this country for the better. I wish you all a very prosperous 2024 and a wonderful new lawyer. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you.